Welcome. What's your name?
Bruno Horn.
Bruno Horn.
I think some people saw me in September here already. Probably did.
Yeah. And you're the main shareholder in this company.
I am the main shareholder of this company.
And you're coming from Lugano?
Lugano, Switzerland. We speak Italian there.
Yeah, but you sound English.
My mother was English.
Okay. Okay. And you have what have you been working with in your life? A short one now.
Short one.
Short one.
Okay, let's say I've worked very much in trading. I worked for Olivetti, the Olivetti typewriter group, purchasing equipment, and in the logistics. Then I went to the financial office in Olivetti. After that, I started working in steel. And since 1993, I have worked in steel up to last year as an independent trader for the past 15 years, bringing steel to the United States. Then a certain Mr. Trump decided to sign a document which did not allow me to bring steel anymore in the United States in a profitable way. And
you have to pay for it this night.
Yes. And so what happened, some time ago, a colleague of mine, which I had known through the Russian connection in steel, came with this project. We have worked on it now for some time, and we acquired the rights to the original project in January 2018.
When I was doing the military duty in Sweden, they always say the enemy comes from the east, and everyone is asking, how is it to making business in Russia? The Swedes are a little bit
I know, but you already had another bad experience with Peter the Great, I know. So that going way back. Russia today is a modern country, although we know that it has some internal problems. Russia has great advantages. It has a very low public debt, quite a big GDP. It has a very stable political system.
It is stable, yeah.
It's very stable. I dare you to find a country which has had the same party in power since 1917. It's difficult. And they are encouraging investments. They're encouraging businesses to go in. We have, let's say, I have to say we have some contrasting information recently. One is a Swedish company is trying to sell some assets in Russia in the gold industry. On the other side, 3 days ago, the head of Kinross, the major Canadian gold mining group, was in Russia talking to Mr. Medvedev, who is the Prime Minister and formerly the President of Russia.
Have they been picking just the mining industry as a good example to getting people in from abroad to invest, so no corruption, all that kind of thing?
Well, we know that Russia is a country which has had a lot of export of raw materials. Russia was a bit like the Arab countries a few years ago, selling the raw material, getting the money in, and living the good life. Now Russia has to learn to walk on their legs, but they've still got a lot of raw materials. One of these raw materials is gold, but you will see on the chart, I can show that there's not only gold there. The matter is that now the surveillance on corruption is very, very strict. One of the people we've had to do in the past in a negative way now is serving 9 years of prison, and that is Mr. The industry minister who was apprehended about a year ago. I can't remember the name, Mr. Ulyakov, some Russian name. Was apprehended, inciting for some bribe, and now he's doing 9 years served in prison.
So you think it's safe to do business now in Russia?
Well, we have taken our precautions. Precautions is Russian companies which
no Russian banks.
No, well, Russian companies which are connected to foreign companies in ownership are much safer than Russian companies per se. We are trying to avoid Russian oligarchs, trying to avoid Russian banks.
Those are the two
Yes.
main things, yeah?
That's our
So this is a Swedish company.
It's a Swedish company.
All right. So let's start, see what we can find the gold.
Well, I think you have seen this already. Just an indication. Gold, we talk about gold like you think there's a lot of gold in the world. There is a lot of gold in the world, but all the gold extracted since history, I mean, we're talking about the Sumerians and other people like that, would build up a cube like that. 166,000 tons of gold make the whole gold extraction in the world. And this is a swimming pool. It's a house. You can imagine, so when you see pictures of gold, you see a deposit of gold, such as Fort Knox. A pallet of gold has a ton of gold. A ton of gold is that high on a pallet. Forget James Bond with pallets that high. A pallet that high would be about 80 tons. The pallet will not hold that weight.
Okay.
This is a interesting representation found by Ben. I don't know where he found it. It's pretty interesting. The constant value of gold. With an ounce of gold in Roman times, you could buy yourself a robe, a helmet, and equipment. On the Great Depression period, with the ounce of gold, you could still buy clothes to dress top-notch, let's say top-quality clothing. And to the present day, the same thing applies. So gold has remained constant. So either you invest in gold or you invest in fashion.
Värdebeständigt. Ben frågar, hur ligger guldpriserna? Hur har guldpriserna
Det ligger ju ganska stabilt just nu. Egentligen är det ju fel att säga att guldet har ett pris. Det är ju alltså de här fiatvalutorna som rör sig i förhållande till guldet. Och just nu är det en flykt mot dollar exempelvis, vilket brukar påverka guldpriset negativt. Det har inte hänt just nu. Så guldet har inte rört sig så där väsentligt de sista 2 åren. Så det ligger just nu runt $1200 per ounce.
Ja.
Och en ounce är ungefär 32 gram, lite slarvigt räknat. I Ryssland så mäter man inte så mycket i ounce utan man mäter i gram och så blir man lite konfys av de olika måtten.
So this is Russian mining.
Yeah. Well, you can see the information for yourself that Russian mining people are experienced. They know what they do when they go mining. Why? Because they know the territory, they have experience, they have been digging stuff for years. I worked for a certain period for MMK, Metallurgische Magnitogorsk Kombinat, which you probably know as a hockey team from Magnitogorsk. And Magnitogorsk means a magnetic mountain. So there was this mountain which was very rich in iron ore and was deviating the compasses. Mr. Stalin decided to put a plant there and they started digging this ore. They have stripped the mountain bare. There's no mountain anymore. Not talking about there's no ore on the mountain, there's no mountain. These people know how to dig and know how to work with ore. The industry is integrated with the international mining industry.
What do you mean by that?
We mean by that the equipment is sometimes Western materials, Western equipment. The techniques are similar. They're not that they have one technique and not another. And the products are traded throughout the world. What they dig out go throughout the world. It isn't common to trade Russian material.
I London så ställer man guldkursen 2 gånger om dagen på råvarubörsen.
Ja, och det är ju det priset som man får betalt i om man
Även i Ryssland.
Från Ryssland till ryska centralbanken eller var man nu än går någonstans.
Okay.
The Russian government is promoting this sort of activity. Yesterday I was asked why isn't the Russian government investing themselves? When I asked why isn't Swedish government investing in lumber? Companies invest in lumber, but I don't think the Swedish government does. Substantial international investment are made in Russia in the mining industry. Yes, well, we see Kinross is trying to move back into Russia. They have 2 mines. They want to move in big time into Russia again. Which more or less gives the last point.
So why Canada or foreign companies coming to Russia and doing the mining? Is it depending on it's much more cheaper to put up gold for mining?
Gold in Russia, let's talk about gold. Gold in Russia can be dug up at much lower prices than big structures in Africa, South Africa, in South America, in the United States. Sometimes, maybe in some parts of the United States and Canada, they are competitive on prices. But gold is an expensive material to dig out in certain parts of the world. Just think about South African mines, which go to 3,000-4,000 meters below the surface. That is a big endeavor. It's a big technical endeavor. Russian gold is still near to the surface. It's not as expensive as it is to dig. We have worked out that with the full project we have for the Kadara Basin,
4 projects, yeah.
yes, the cost of gold extraction would be something around between the $10 and $13 per gram. Thinking that the gram of gold is sold, also with the refinery, gold is sold at about $40 to the gram. So you make your maths.
So it's very profitable.
Yes, it is quite profitable. If you know how to do it. If you do something wrong with your logistics, then you have a problem.
Och Ben, det finns flera bolag i Sverige som
Ja,
finns
det är
på.
sista punkten där nere, så har vi 2 bolag som ligger på First North, som ligger i samma region, det vill säga i den här Transbaikalregionen som ligger lite ost om den stora Baikalsjön. Och det är Orient Mining och Kopi Goldfields. Så om ni har följt dem så vet ni vilka bolag vi pratar om.
Well, our strategy, we came 2 months ago with a project which is the Kadara Basin. At the moment this is a bit on a standstill for some bureaucratic procedures we're going through. But we mentioned last time that we are willing to create a constellation of mining concessions around the area because the area is rich. So by taking this constellation, we would be accessing places where if you bought that, let's say you bought a concession or the license for a certain area, you have logistic costs which can kill your deal. By centralizing our refining structure in a specific area and buying minor licenses in the area, we then make it a practical endeavor to bring the ore from these deposits to the refining structure, to the primary refining structure, then flying it out by helicopter, because once every month you got a few hundred kilograms of gold, it is worthwhile flying it by helicopter.
I'll explain this in Swedish because this is a little bit tricky. Så att, vad man har ett stort område. Man kommer också bjuda på fler områden runt det här. Därför att kunna logistiskt sett klara av det här, att ta fram det här och få det här väldigt lönsamt, så kommer man stoppa ett raffinaderi mitt inne i den här, där alla fyndigheterna finns. Och där kommer man göra en extraction av guldet tillräckligt bra för att kunna flyga ut guldet med helikopter. För det är stora avstånd, komplicerade frågan. Då kommer det här bli lönsamt. Så man söker efter fler konstruktioner nu och kommer med på 2 budgivningar på konstruktioner som ligger omkring de här 4 stycken områdena i Kadara som det är frågan om. Här ser vi då the här region. Or have you tell what we have been doing for the last 8 years?
This is the Kadara Basin. This is a definition of a territorial government area. So I believe some of you have had some chemistry. You will see this territory has been dug, poked, and surveyed for decades. For 80 years since Stalin's times, people have been checking what is there. So you may see that here we have titanium, we have wolfram, we have zinc, we have gold, we have somewhere we will have silver, I saw. Well, you have a lot of stuff. I mean, these people know what is where. They have been poking their fingers everywhere and taking samples. I was asked the other day.
And where is the gold then?
The gold?
Yeah.
Gold is. We use AU, sorry, but. AU.
The blue block.
No, it's not the color. You got to see the various. This is AU. This is gold, for instance. This is gold. 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 This is gold.
And you have a string here.
Yes.
And it's not far. It's not deep. You have the gold.
No,
string.
because these are rock formations.
Right.
Of course, we probably have something on the alluvial, but these are rock formations. These are geological formations which go under various funny names. If you look at the geological analysis, it's 20 pages. I don't want to bore you with this. So you see, they know what's there. It's not only gold there, but of course we're interested in gold for one reason. What you take out is a high value, because if we take copper, we can sell copper at $4,000 a ton. Gold a little bit more.
Yeah. And the process, you have paid for this kind
Yes.
of district, but the samples about everything, have you to pay for that too? Or?
Yes, this we still got to. We have the license to that territory. This is the license which we got some let's say bureaucratic problem. We have not been sitting waiting for the bureaucracy to take care of the things. We have already started moving, and in that area up there, here and here, we are going after some other concessions. We're talking about a few kilometers distance, and the one we are going for now is in this triangle here. Will be the Doktugan deposit, and that's what we're going to, let's say, participate in an acquisition on the 6th of December. This is a small deposit. We worked about 700, 800 kilograms of gold within certified and non-certified gold, and like that, there are different other deposits which are worthwhile going after.
Okay, next.
So you want to know where this place is? Now I guess,
In your calculation, do you foresee underground mining or open cuts or a mix of?
mainly it will be surface cuts.
Okay.
Yes. Let's say no tunneling.
No
That
tunneling.
Yeah. Also that is pretty much on the surface. It's not hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meters down.
And the ore body, is it a complex ore with silver in it? And
There is traces of silver, pretty high percentage, and also some copper.
then you produce doré, not out there in the field.
We have this refining system we are looking at, an automatized German refining system, which actually was created to refine and extract minerals from ashes of the rubbish burners. They tested it in Zurich, and they put this machine. They are modular, self-contained machines which do the refining. And in this case, in Zurich, from the rubbish, they managed to extract a few kilograms of gold a year from rubbish. Everybody has a cell phone, everybody has electronic equipment. When they throw it away, some people throw it in the rubbish. Gold, everybody who has a cell phone has at least half a gram of gold in their cell phone. And think of how many million cell phones are out there with half a gram of gold in it. We're talking about industrial
You don't
gold.
have to dig, just collect them.
Steal telephones. People want to know where it is. So where's the area? This is the Baikal Lake. It's the biggest body of sweet water in the world. Pure water. They also make vodka with the ice of the Baikal.
Of course.
This is the Trans-Baikal region. And this is Chita, the head city of the Trans-Baikal region. And the mining area we are talking about is here. As you may notice, this is China. And this is one of the problems, because it's so near to the border, we are having the bureaucratic problem because of this. The Ministry of Defense is evaluating the situation there.
Will the Chinese invade or not?
Yes, but now they're friendly, so maybe that will help somehow. The logistics of the thing, that if you go to Chita, it takes you 6.5 hours to fly from Moscow to Chita. Don't call it Chita, because they are not happy. You call it Chita. And you take a train. This is the line of the Trans-Siberian. There's the old line which goes through China, goes to Harbin. This is the new line. When they were not friendly in the 1950s and 1960s, they did the new line. And so you take the train, and it takes you 8 hours to get to Mogochinsky, which is there. And then you've got to drive for at least another 7-8 hours to the mining area. This is a very big part of the world. It's not a region, it's a pretty big area of the world. And there's one thing, because we put this picture in, the area is a natural how can I say, it's a natural treasure. The Russian government does not want us to do anything dirty there. So what we dig has to be refined, cleaned, and put back where it came from. Not leaving big heaps on one side and big holes on the other. For instance, we got to build a hydroelectric power plant for our own power. We can't have big diesel generators belching smoke in the air. So part of the cost is also that. We have to observe environmental rules.
So this is the corporate structure. Alltså det är ett publikt bolag och det är baserat i Stockholm. Adressen är på World Trade Center. Sstar Gold LLC, det är alltså ett ryskt bolag som då är baserat i Moskva. Du måste ha så att säga, folk och utrustning och allting annat som är baserat där för att kunna göra jobbet som sådant. Och det är inkorporerat i det här bolaget. Och som jag sa tidigare, Bruno Horn här, han är majoritetsägare i det här så att säga, bolaget, hela den här strukturen. Det här är intressant. Board of Directors, det är alltså styrelsen i det svenska bolaget. Bruno Horn har sett, vi har en person i rummet som heter Anders Åhling, vinkar till publiken. Där. Och din bakgrund, ja, det kan du väl säga själv.
Ja, jag har en 30-årig bakgrund i näringslivet, bank i USA och Sverige. Jag har jobbat många år inom byggbransch och fastighet och investeringar i Sverige och internationellt.
Och Simon Cars får Ben berätta vem han är. Vad han har kvalifikationer.
Han kommer ju faktiskt via en av mina bästa vänner i London som är en guldhandlare. De sysslar helt enkelt med handel av guld. Och Simon är väldigt involverad i det som heter compliance. Vilket ju innebär att man både tar reda på om det finns några skelett i garderoben någonstans. En affär eller med folk eller vad man gör. Men också sedan efter att man följer regelverk och annat. Så han är en fena på det. Han är väldigt duktig på att också utvärdera människor om de har något skuld bakom sig. Så han är lite grann utav aktieägarnas man, tillvaratar aktieägarnas intressen. Och det är någonting som naturligtvis First North sätter stort värde på.
Och det, du sa First North och vi har träffat First North och det finns en Certified Advisor utsedd. Och bolaget kommer att bli uppladdat nu efter ägarspridning på Euroclear. Så att någon gång i början på nästa år ska vi försöka notera bolag. Men vi ska sparat också någon som heter Carl Axel Wattland som kommer att vara vd i bolaget.
Det är jag.
Hej Jobb!
Och jag har erfarenhet från metallbranschen sedan mitten på 80-talet. Ryssland sedan mitten på 80-talet också. Trader först och sen Boliden, Ludwig Mining och Northland. Så det är alla typer av metaller inklusive guld. Endomines var jag ordförande, alltså guldförlag.
Endomines ligger i Finland.
I Finland, ja. Endomines är ett svenskt bolag.
Du kan regionen väldigt bra också, för du har ju varit precis i den här regionen.
Jag jobbar lite till och från fortfarande med ett simprojekt i grannregionen, Ulan-Ude-området.
Så det är inga ryska vd:ar, inga ryska personer i styrelsen utan det är väldigt mycket svenskt och schweiziskt. Det är väl därför det heter Sstar.
Ja, S stod ju egentligen för Schweiz om det nu är någon som undrar varför det står Sstar. Men nu blir det Sweden, right?
Yeah.
But we are also the management team in Russia. And you're working with this.
This is the.
Oh, sorry. This is for the Swedish company.
Yes, for the Swedish company where we have the accounting, which is in Göteborg, or Göteborg as you say in Sweden, and the auditor too is in Sweden, in Göteborg.
True. Yeah.
Yes, too. So we have this Swedish involvement.
Right.
And then now comes the Russian management. Now the Russian management, I can say that we have signed the contracts finally with these people because 2 days ago we were waiting for their signatures. So we have the CEO, Mr. Balashov. He worked with Sstar Gold for many years. He was one of the managers of Sstar Gold. Polish gold in Russia means nearly 30, well, over 30, nearly 40% of the gold extracted in Russia is produced by these people. Mr. Gorbatenko is from the Chita region, is a geologist and a mining engineer, has experience in setting up mines and also the geology evaluation. Because of course, if you get the territory, you don't work only on what you have, you start poking other holes in it and trying to see where there's more gold and things like that. The finance director, Yuliana Rodovskaya, is a degree economist from the Patriciu Lumumba University. I like to put this name in because it's an African name, but it's a Moscow University.
It's also a drink.
Yes? And she actually worked in a lot in the West, a lot in London, but the last position in Russia before taking on a activity of independent consulting was finance director at Rio Tinto in Russia. Rio Tinto is one of the biggest trading companies for raw materials and I think also mining, but I'm not really sure about that. And our group mining engineer would be Mr. Plotnikov, who has years of experience in different mining. He has not a specific experience in gold. He has some experience. His main experience is rare earth, let's say, materials, a little bit further north than the Chita region, towards the center of the Transsibernedra, which is the part north of the Lake of Baikal. And so this is the team. We will have a team of people on site. We are contacting these people. Initially, we will be working with a company which already has people there. And
how many will it be from the beginning?
Well, to run the whole show out there would have to be 12 to 18 people. We think at the end, when the whole thing will be running, the mining and the refining structure, we should be running around 22, 24, something like that. Not more. It's not an enormous operation because really and truly, the territory it sounds enormous, 140 square kilometers, but it's 140 square kilometers is 8 times 10. It's no, it's not even. It's less. 8 times 9.
Så nu ska vi prata om lite skäl till du och jag ska prata om lite skäl varför man ska investera där. Alltså som ni märker så är det väl organiserat och rakt igenom ett svenskt bolag, schweizisk huvudägare bakom det hela. Och man har en 6-årig budget. Man kommer se att man kommer tjäna pengar och göra utdelning år 2 redan bakom det här. Allting kommer att vara totalt inom år 6 i det här. Man kan fortsätta gräva vidare av det hela. Det är lönsamt beroende på att man har väldigt low mining cost in Russia. Vad kan man säga om det?
Det är extremt lågt egentligen. Och om vi tittar på de här stora ryska bolagen så ligger de ju runt 400-500 dollar per ounce i brutkostnad. Så det är en indikation, det är ingen garanti för vad man kommer nå, men även om man skulle räkna fel så det visslar om det, så är det långt kvar till 1200. Och det är inte många projekt som har det i väst. Det finns några få i Nevada där man har kanske brutkostnader på 600, några få fält också i Kanada. Oftast ligger man ju i stora bolag på kanske 800. Men glöm inte också det att de har höga overheadkostnader. Och Karl-Axel och jag, vi pratade om det där för någon dag sedan. Att det här bolaget kommer inte ha höga overheads. Utan det blir en liten operation i princip.
We were talking about dividend. You're saying they're going to be year 2. How can
From
you
year 2.
From year 2.
Yes,
How can you be so sure?
Well, how can we hope so?
Yeah.
No, really and truly, the idea is initial development with purchase of the rights. Go for some bank financing with the, gold in Russia is defined in different ways. One is certified 1 and 2, and then you have the presumed P1 and P2. In the West, you have a system called the 43101, which is a certification of the existence of gold. What the 43101 does not give you is the industrial reality of the gold extraction, what we have done. So if you go to a bank with a 43101 or a C1, C2 quantity certified by the Russian state laboratory, which is what we will be having, you have the same piece of paper, the same value. But you got to convince the bank that, yes, we can do that job of getting the gold up, and that is the industrial project we have. And at that moment, you can leverage a lot of financing. So the idea is that after 2 years, we can start paying dividend. And within 6 years, we will be able to repay all debts with any bank which has, depending on which level, let's say at the highest level of banking debt, we will within 6 years be able to pay it all back.
Om vi tar det lite på svenska, Ben, alltså det är frågan om att man kommer att söka 10 miljoner nu. Och man kommer att ungefär kanske lika mycket eller något lite till i nästa gång. Sen kommer man gå till bank. För det vi pratar om det är bankable. Och det var nu pratar om att ryska statens laboratorier garanterar nästan att det finns så här mycket guld.
Är det bankable, vilket ju är mycket bättre än att ha en 43101. En 43101 är inte någon garanti för att det är lönsamt att extrahera guldet. Att man kommer tjäna några pengar på det. Så bankable är mycket bättre. Då kan man gå och låna på i princip det som ligger i marken. Och det finns ju inte bara ryska banker som lånar pengar. Nordiska investeringsbanker.
Ja, vilka banker kan låna?
Och det kan vara Credit Suisse eller det kan vara BNP Paribas i Genève. Så det finns många källor. Och jag har pratat med en del av de bankerna och det finns ett intresse för det. Bara man kan komma till de kvaliteterna som vi pratar om.
There is one thing about the banks. We would like to work with Western banks. Why? Very simple. The Russian base rate at the National Bank on the ruble is 7.5%. The euro is less. I think it's less than 1%, and the Swiss franc is even 0.25%. The base rate. So you can imagine.
So we go to Switzerland.
If hopefully we can go to Switzerland. Yes.
Yeah. Villkor i emissionen, den som pågår fram till 15 november, det är följande. En aktie kostar 5 kronor. Kvotvärdet är 1 krona. Så på en aktiepost, minimum en aktiepost, 5 000 kronor. Det är väldigt lågt där, för vi vill få in många aktieägare. Efter den här emissionen är stängd kommer vi ha en ägarspridning till 1000 aktieägare, för vi vill få in många, och i början på nästa år så kommer vi hjälpa av Dividend Sweden att sprida till ytterligare cirka 2000 aktieägare. 2 till 3000 aktieägare kommer det vara i början på året innan man går upp och noterar bolaget och gör en emission då. Hur man kommer ta in pengar då, om det är 10 miljoner eller 15 miljoner, 20 miljoner, får vi se då hur det här med alla koncessioner och allting annat som det är frågan om. Men det kommer inte vara mycket mer. Utan de stora pengarna är bankable. Man kommer låna upp till 90% utav den summa som då behövs för att kunna utvinna det här guldet. Så det är max 2 emissioner vi kan se bakom det här. Och vi kör inte någon slags ta in 25 miljoner för att sälja bolaget eller allt det här, utan det här är liksom den sitt som det är frågan om. Och teckningsperioden går ut 15 november. Och värderingen ligger på 142 miljoner. Så det är en mycket modest värdering. Om man jämför mot vilket annat, så att säga, bolag som helst som har ett mining eller kopparkopti.
First, kort fråga.
Ja.
Question. If I buy then one lot, 1000 shares, I also get 1000 teckningsrätter.
Not teckningsrätter, you get one more shares from 1000.
Ja, men du får en teckningsrätt.
Ja, teckningsrätt också.
Ja.
But the problem is it says se nedan, means teckningsperioden, när gäller teckningsrätten?
Den gäller ett år framåt sen.
Jag hann inte få med allt.
Så det föll bort där i
det gäller ett år.
Okay. And what is the price for a share in 1 year? 1 krona?
Kommer inte ihåg i huvudet, för det var lite flytande. Det fanns ett tak på det. Och sen tror jag att lägsta pris var 5 kronor. Så det kommer inte gå under 5 kronor. Och sen tror jag att det var inte över 10, 11, 12 kronor. Och sånt där. Jag ska inte svära på det. Det står där.
Ja, precis. Vi har inte framför oss. Okej. That's it! Så vill man bli ägare av guld, då kanske det är bara vem som är så vansinnigt så han tänker att vi ger utdelning i guld till aktieägarna.
Ja, det kanske är ingen dum idé. Många tycker
det är värdebeständigt i alla fall.
Ja, men om det blir en finanstumult-tid så kan det ju vara tryggt att få sin utdelning i reda guldpengar eller något liknande istället för att man får fiat-valuta. Och det kanske man kan återkomma till sen i framtiden.
What commitment does a board of director have in the company?
What does it mean by commitment?
How many shares you have?
Aha.
Share board of members. There were 4 board members.
How many shares does the board of members have in the company?
Well, I have...
They don't mean you now. I think they mean the board of members.
at the moment, they don't have any shares.
They don't have. Will they sign or
Yeah, they will get some shares, yes.
for free?
Well, for the job.
For the job? Okay.
Så jag tror att vad man kan säga, vi kommer ju givetvis redovisa det, men det kommer ju vara så att de som är i styrelsen kommer få från huvudägaren dels betalt, som det står enligt man ska göra med marknadsplatsen, men också kommer få aktier i bolag för jobbet.
Men ordförande, huvudägaren får inte.
Nej.
VD får ju så att säga betalt som VD, så får ingen styrelsearvode, utan det är de andra 2 ledamöterna som måste ha.
Precis. Okej. Anything more?
Ja, slutsidan.
Fler frågor? Tack för att ni lyssnade.